Hi, my name is Annabelle, and I am an amateur tidepooler, resident of Monterey and County, Pacific Grove, obsessive ocean fangirl, not necessarily the academic background to back it up.
Doc Ricketts, the female right here. That's what we're going to call her, Docette Ricketts.
Oh yeah, oh my gosh.
Doc Ricketts had no marine biology and was accused of nothing but a poacher. You know, they hated his guts.
Yeah, I did know that. That's right.
Well,
and I mean, he was working with the
think
Chinese
about it, right?
Who were the ones who.
You know how he got killed?
I do know how he got killed.
By the train. He was young. That was at 48.
Right.
So
much
the Stanford, right across from his lab, they have that thing, the real marine biologist. You know, and they hated him. They hated him. But I tell everybody, name one of those. Name a famous marine biologist in California. Class, kids. The only one anybody knows is Doc Ricketts. Right. And now Stanford will say, well, he was a good scientist. Oh, you didn't say that now. So tell us what you found in the last few years.
Well, me and my little canine.
Friendship slave, I call him.
Penelope is busy trying to take out the invasive species here that you can see.
Yeah, which it shouldn't all be here. Captain Cook's freaking nightmare plants.
She objects to the imperialist colonizers bringing over.
Oh, you speak my language. My crowd's gonna love you.
The purple carpet. I really like the color purple, so I'm just gonna like coat the coast in it and just like give no fucks about the native species. So Penelope is helping me right now as I discuss with you the fact that yes, we are here pretty much every day. We come down to the coast, and whenever there's a low tide, we take advantage and we'll go explore and poke around. And I saw a sea star for my first time in a year, just about maybe 3 weeks ago. The same kind that you found today.
I just found one just now, big beauty.
Before that, I had seen one other sea star, and it was a year ago.
So your thesis fits mine perfectly.
Yeah.
Well, it's not thesis anymore. It was hypothesized. I'm like, it's going to kill it. They're going to go. Then the thesis was the work. We did all the work. That's what a real PhD does. This is really, we're at the point of, you know, the conclusion now. So get your phone out and show us that thing.
I will show you this.
And then I've got video. So believe it or not, I've worked the whole peninsula. I went crazy. I just found a big one.
See if I can make my brightness somehow workable here. That is. Ooh.
There it is.
Here's the little guy.
So she found it over on Lover's Point. So
it's kind of hard to see.
Yeah, we got it. We got it. We got it.
And
so
yeah, that was at Lover's Point.
And that's the only one you found in a couple years.
Well, 1 year. It was about a year ago. It was early. See, it
was a year ago you found it.
2017, so it was over a year ago, almost 2 years ago actually. Oh my gosh, it's Christmas.
It's gonna be 2019, yeah.
That's right. So almost 2 years ago.
Do you know? So it's us pagans. It's New Year's Eve.
That's right.
The solstice is tomorrow.
That's right.
We got low tide. So what? So you did say you found one other small bat star, a little orange bat star.
The little orange guys with the stubby arms.
So I just found one down there. I found two actually.
It's amazing that we both saw the same species. I wonder if
it's incredible. We're on the same wavelength. And by the way, our crowd, she's Monterey, and I've said it for years. Where's these hardcore Monterey girls? They're out here.
Ask me. I don't know.
Yeah, she's here. She's here, and she's, you know, like I said, you know, I just met her, and so I call my gig anti-neo-Yoko Dadaism.
Okay.
And so I'm a Dadaist. You know, Dolly lived here. He was a Dadaist, which is an anti-war, anti-imperialist movement. And here's Yoko, the head of the anti-imperialist. She's the imperialist. And so, like I said, the imperialists took us over here, Stanford. But the tides are super, super low. When we first got a look. So she's out here freelancing, doing the work, and right here, I found the exact one that well, not the exact one, maybe it's cousin, but I worked the whole thing just now, all the way from there, all the way to here. That's how she spotted me digging down there.
Yes, I was actually, you know, not being aware that you had the expertise that you do. I was keeping an eye on you to make sure you weren't
didn't drown.
Who was going to get killed by the waves, because I've saved.
Hey, don't say anything about the terrorists. I mean tourists, or the cow pasture pool guys in short pants.
Yeah.
Called golfers.
Oh my God.
When they were flooding, it was going up here. There were 80 footers breaking over there Sunday morning.
Yeah.
I was out there, and I was like telling others over at the golf course, bull kelp was floating in the golf course knee deep, and I'm like, too bad it doesn't wash all you fuckers out to fucking sea and drown you all. And they're like, well, you can't say that. Oh, sorry.
Oh my gosh. No, I had an initiative recently where I was proposing that, you know, as some sort of attempt at reconciliation or reparations for the genocide that happened here, that the Pacific Grove golf course be given up and turned into affordable housing, and like I almost got like murdered by the government.
I'm on a gig called the Baby Wolves of the Baby Wolves of San Diego, and I did an interview with the PG, and I call it the Heartbreakers, the PG Break. I did an interview with this young girl here, and so my proposal is every room that gets rented has a $20 tax. Yeah. Every second home has a $1 million tax, and anybody who grows up here, goes to school, whether you're the, PG Breaker, you're a Carmel Padre, Monterey, Conqueror, whatever.
Monterey Conqueror.
All of it pays their rent. 75%, 80, 90%, because we're, Monterey, just like in San Diego and the coastal communities, they're losing their best asset, their youth. That believe.
The class divide is impossible to overcome.
Not only that, class divide is outrageous.
Impossible, but
yeah, well, it's the 0%. I call it Ayn Rand Greenspan science fiction economics.
Ooh,
but
I like that.
But the other dynamic is the tourism economy. The Airbnbs, whatever. So like my friend, she owned that little house right up there. When she gets $5 million out of that little bungalow of her grandparents, woo, and then they rent it. You know what they rent it for? $2,200 a week. And they turn it into 4 units, $8,800 a week.
See, this is why property is about to become just something only elites have.
It already is.
It already is. It already is. I mean, just the fact that
it'll change. The grapes of wrath. We are the grapes of wrath here. It's gonna. The market's bleeding right now. I'm telling you, it's coming apart. I'm a finance guy, and I mean, come on. I just had a conversation with her up there. She's 94. She says, Kevin, people could talk romanticizing Chavez. He was a politician asshole. She says, I grew up in Salina Valley. She says, I lived the grapes of wrath. I says, what do you think's going to happen again? It's going to be worse, she says. So she lived it. She lived it, So wow. This is the place that we should be talking about it. So yes, I found a starfish.
Woohoo!
Give us your name again.
Annabelle.
So I really appreciate you, Annabelle.
Well, I appreciate you too, sir. Thanks for doing the work that you're doing.
I found her. The new Flora. Flora is named after, we called the Tidepools in those days. The glass bottom boats right there. The glass bottom boats were here till 1975. And you know what it was all called by the Victorians?
The glass bottom boats?
No, the Tidepools.
Oh, what? No, I don't.
Flora.
Really?
They called it Flora. That's who she's named after. She's born and raised in Carmel. I understand her daughter's around here.
Really?
And by the way, people live to be 100 here. You see somebody
It's the ocean. It's the ocean.
You see somebody around here that is like, you think 60? They're probably 90.
Yeah. We're just so lucky. All these fucking negative ions every day. All the iodine. And we're so lucky.
I mean, what they do on the cruise lines, up in their waist, the whole fucking line complex.
How on earth is that allowed? I mean, the aquarium with all their...
Oh, I'm in the Coast Guard's here. Should have seen the Coast Guard.
Cruise ships, come on through. Jump through shit.
And they do.
What?
It's outrageous. It's outrageous. And the biggest thing is the nuclear energy crime scene, the Fukushima.
Pouring here, by the way.
So it's been pouring in the whole time, And so the salmon are collapsing now. Oh, that doesn't matter here. Oh, come on. This is the greatest fishery on earth. By the way, so you know, there's a carbon-dated dinghy they found in Salina Valley now that they've carbon-dated. Chinese dinghy.
Oh, really?
Guess what date?
It was at
1392 before Columbus. So we know. So the Coast Guard was chasing the squid fisher.
Wow.
I got in their ear. You should have seen them. They had the helicopter. Some of these young guys, they listen to me. They love me. And they're like, no, fuck these guys. Yeah. So the young Coast Guard, you should have seen them chasing the freaking Chinese boats out of here freaking 2 days ago. I wish I'd had video.
Really? What were the boats that they were
squid fishing.
Oh, they were chasing them out because it was illegal? They were
illegal? They come in here and cheat all the time.
Those lit up squid boats are not technically allowed?
Well, on the perimeter, they gave them 3 days.
Okay.
Anchovies and sardines are emergency closed right now because it's a 99% collapse, has been for 5-6 years. John Steinbeck, where are the anchovies and starfish? They're in a can. Kevin Blanch and Annabelle, they're fucking dead. Yeah. But anyway, so
they chased them away? That's incredible.
I loved it. I saw him last night up there on the point. I said, I'm going to kiss you. He says, I'll kiss you back, Kev. I love you, man. So there's a few. Same in PB. That young Marine ball. The youth have fucking had it. I can tell you that. That's baby boomers and echo boomers. Yeah. I mean, look at it. But I did find one. I promise you guys, and I've got, how many hours of footage have I put up in the last,
Wow.
You guys are to nausea, but...
I mean, every time that I see, you know, like there are groups of like, you know, teenagers and young people who are actually suing the government for negligence because they can prove that, you know, that facts were known that could have helped the government to...
Well, I got leukemia. They nuked my father dead. I never got no money, and nobody will stand up for me. You know, not to mention Roundup. I got multiple myeloma. How much Roundup do you think they spray around here?
Oh, I don't know.
From the air. Oh, yeah. Remember when they had a beetle in here several years ago, about 2010, 11, 12, and we all fought it. They're like, no, the only way we're going to get it, we got to spray the whole peninsula from the air. And we're like...
Oh, yeah, the beetle that was killing the trees.
Yeah.
They sprayed Roundup to take...
No, it wasn't the beetle that was killing the trees, and they lied about the beetle killing the trees.
Did
anyway.
Really?
The trees died from radiation. They did. Solar radiation. They'll say it's from the sun. And I said, you can tell Fukushima radiation from solar radiation? And they're like, I said, I know you can't because it's the same thing. Bringing star-powered Earth, they did it. And so they all agree with me. And I've been in their ear for a long time, as everyone knows in my crowd.
Nice.
To nausea. No, there was a beetle in the vegetables, a bug. And it was a new one, it's some Chinese bug, blah, blah. And so they said, we got to spray from the air. And so they said, we'll use this lower, more organic, which they sprayed from the air. We lost.
What, organic Roundup?
Yeah, there you go. And so they just lied. That's what they do, right? So now some activists come out and found up it was, and then we wonder why we all have multiple myeloma, which they prove, which I have.
Oh, my sister is a nurse, and she spent years being a traveling nurse. She would go to people's homes who couldn't make the trip to the hospital.
Old school.
And she was working in Gonzales and Salinas, and and
nice.
surrounding areas. But basically, her empirical data that she got through
So
years.
she knows out there.
Childhood leukemia is just rampant.
Off the hook out there. I sleep with the pickers out in Castroville.
Yeah.
I do work with them, and you're right. It's off the hook.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's murder.
It is murder.
It is.
So let me see if this is still going.
So
anything else you want to say?
Oh, so much. I have so much to say.
We'll do some more.
I will just leave with a smile and just be with the gratefulness of having encountered you today. Because I also get very frustrated here in Monterey, just, feeling like that there's so much of import. We're at so many crucial points, and there's so much happening here that nobody seems to be aware of or care about.
They're unconscious.
I'm thrilled to have met you.
Yeah, I'm thrilled to meet you. You're a gem, by the way. You are a Monterey gem. I'm thrilled. Stay tuned.